It is day 2 of the Sean Diddy Combs federal trial. Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, she is one of Combs' many accusers, testifying as a central witness.
Is she ready?
Very ready. Confident.
Among other things, the singer is expected to address the 2016 video of Combs attacking her in a hotel when she was his girlfriend.
Once hailed as a music mogul and kingmaker, Diddy's carefully crafted image crumbled in an instant when Cassie Ventura took the stand. Her shocking testimony stunned the courtroom and left Diddy visibly shaken as she exposed disturbing details about what allegedly happened behind closed doors.
She walked in there, Rachel. She had on a brown dress, form-fitting, visibly pregnant, head held high, and did not make any eye contact with the defendant, with Sean Combs. He said that Sean Combs directed everything from what she had on, to the lighting in the room, to how she was supposed to interact with the person that she was having sex with. And again, just to reiterate what is a freak-off, the freak-off essentially was something that Cassie said she learned about through Sean Combs about a year into their relationship. He described it as voyeurism, wanting to watch her have sex with someone else. And she said that she did it because she was 22, 21, she was young, she didn't know any better, and that she wanted to please Sean Combs.
Among other things, the singer is expected to address the 2016 video of Combs attacking her in a hotel when she was his girlfriend. Combs has pleaded not guilty. His attorneys argue the video is evidence of jealousy, not sex trafficking. And now for the first time, jurors are hearing what Cassie has to say about that and other aspects of their 10-year relationship.
For years, Sean Diddy Combs ruled the music industry, building Bad Boy Records, launching icons, and expanding his brand into fashion, vodka, and media. He seemed like the ultimate success story, the face of hip-hop's business power. But if the courtroom claims are true, that polished image may have masked something far darker. While the world praised his red carpet looks, Cassie Ventura was allegedly living a very different reality behind closed doors.
I think what made Cassie emotional is having to describe the details of the freak-off and why she did it. When she talked about wanting to do it to please Sean Combs, that's when she broke down. Up until that point, she had just been answering the questions. She's a little soft-spoken at times, but that's when she got emotional. When she had to answer the question about if she enjoyed it, that's when she broke down, because she said, I enjoyed being with Sean Combs. And she says, I did it because it made him happy.
The courtroom was hit with a jarring contrast yesterday that left everyone stunned. Diddy, known for his sharp suits, smooth interviews, and polished image, was suddenly unrecognizable in the stories being told. On day 2, he walked in like the Diddy everyone knows, confident, surrounded by high-powered lawyers, acting like it was just another meeting. But this wasn't business, it was deeply personal and messy. That cool, untouchable energy faded fast. Within 30 minutes of Cassie's testimony, witnesses said his confidence cracked, and the smooth facade started to fall apart.
In addition to the physical abuse that she potentially experienced.
Yeah, she's definitely laying out someone who was young, who was influenced by wanting to have this record career. She signed a 10-album deal with Bad Boy Entertainment, led by Sean Combs, and basically describes being enamored by Sean Combs, loving him, not knowing about certain things sexually, and him sort of telling her, teaching her about that. And what you hear is someone that was young and she even said, you know, I was young, I was naive, I didn't know any better. But she's really telling the story of someone who thought she was going to be with someone in this music industry that was going to help her career, that cared about her, but quickly learned after the freak-offs that wasn't the case. And what I thought was also interesting is she said that after that first freak-off, she said she felt dirty. She didn't want to do it. And when she brought up the idea of having a conversation about the freak-offs in an email, which the jurors saw, she said she backpedaled in the email because Combs responded by saying, I know, you don't want to do it. And she said, oh no, well, it's not that. But that was the beginning. That was in 2010, where she brings up in an email that she wanted to have a conversation about this. And in her words, she didn't want to do it, but she felt like she had to do it.
As Cassie shared details from their past, Diddy's lawyers kept objecting, trying to stop her every word. The once powerful mogul looked shaken, unable to sit still. Witnesses said the power shift was clear the moment Cassie spoke. All eyes were on him.
At some point in time, she actually had said that she looked forward to the freak-offs. Why did Cassie expressed looking forward to the said freak-off.
When the prosecution asked her, was there ever a time that you enjoyed the freak-offs? This is when Cassie got choked up and she said, I did, but only because I got to spend one-on-one time with Combs, and I really did love him.
And that is speaking to the psychological abuse.
Diddy's face went ghost white, his composure slipping fast. He fidgeted with his tie, rubbed his hands, and scribbled frantic notes to his lawyers trying to regain control. At one point, his attorney had to signal him to calm down. A reporter said it felt like watching someone realize they no longer owned the story. As Cassie calmly detailed their past, Diddy looked physically ill. Then came the moment that shook the courtroom, a claim so serious, it put his entire empire at risk. For once, he couldn't spin the narrative.
And prosecutors have wasted no time getting right into the alleged abuse that Cassie Ventura says she endured for years. Ventura telling jurors, quote, he would bash my head, knock me over, drag me, kick me, stomp me in the head when I was down. She also got into the nature of those so-called freak-offs, saying that they involved hiring an escort and they performed under the direction of Combs, saying that they happened so frequently it eventually became a job for her to set them up. Ventura said she did not feel she had much of a choice but to participate, that she feared that Combs would retaliate or potentially blackmail her if she did not. And she's had at times to take, she's taken deep breaths, pausing her testimony, Combs appearing to be listening pretty passively with his hands in his lap at the defense table there.
When Cassie took the stand, the room went silent. No one, not even Diddy's legal team, was ready for what she revealed. Speaking calmly, she recalled meeting him at 19 while he was already a powerful music mogul. The power gap was clear from day one.
I think what the defense is going to say is that this wasn't blackmail, this was not coercion, this was consensual. We know that Cassie started out with Sean Combs as an early person with someone who is trying to get her career started, and he was going to help her. That's what the defense is going to say, that she was starting out and wanted someone to support her. They did their first record deal together. That's something I think the defense is going to focus on, and had it not been for Sean Combs, she wouldn't be where she is right now. The prosecution obviously is saying he was in control. It may have started out as a consensual. It may have started out with her being excited about seeing him, but ultimately he took control of that relationship. He took control of her career. This is their key witness, and she's on that stand trying to explain all of the charges that the prosecution wants to hit home with that jury.
According to Cassie, Diddy knew how to use that power gap to his advantage. Her testimony unfolded like a slow-burn thriller, starting with controlling behavior that worsened over time. She said he tracked her constantly, showed up unannounced, and threatened her career if she didn't follow his rules. Working with other artists, he'd allegedly shut it down if he felt even slightly threatened.
Relationship with Diddy. Some of those details we've seen in prior lawsuits, but to hear her on the stand actually giving those details, reliving those moments herself. Also, you have to remember, she's very pregnant right now. So I'm going to be curious to see how long she makes it on the stand, how she's emotionally able to weather all of these questions. And what's going to be interesting to watch is, you know, the defense from the very start in their opening statement said that she chose to be there. So I'm going to be curious to see how she responds to questions about, was this her choice, or did she feel like she had to do all of these things?
Cassie claimed Diddy installed tracking software on her phone, calling her within minutes of arriving anywhere. She said he cut off her friends until he was all she had. The judge had to call for order multiple times as Diddy unraveled. Then came the bombshell. Cassie handed her phone to her attorney, and everything changed.
What kind of witness is Cassie coming off as to the jurors?
I think naturally when you look at her visually, people see that she's pregnant and looking like she's due any day now. So they might, you know, have empathy, sympathy for her in that way, but we don't really know. We know that they've been instructed to be fair and impartial. As to what type of witness she's coming off as, she's describing someone that she was, someone she said that was trying to figure out who she was at that time and who she was allowed to be. Now you're looking at somebody that's almost 40 years old, totally different person, but even in describing what was going on at her at that time, taking drugs, trying to please Sean Combs, she's really just sort of laying out the case for her not having a lot of control. So I think that's the takeaway. This is someone who is making it very clear that at that particular time in her life, she says she did not have any control really over what she wore, what she did, who she was having sex with. She's a different person now. But I think when she talks about those details and even reflecting on them for herself, as we saw today, she broke down on.
For years, Diddy allegedly controlled every part of Cassie's life, but now, she had the mic, and he couldn't silence her. No press release, no security, no spin, just her truth, backed by years of saved texts, emails, and photos he couldn't erase. Then came the twist. Cassie revealed messages from celebrities who allegedly witnessed Diddy's behavior. Firsthand, his closest friends, business partners, people deep in his circle. The room went still. One by one, members of Diddy's entourage quietly slipped out, not wanting to be seen. By the end, he sat nearly alonged him and his lawyers. The powerful mogul who walked in like a boss, left looking crushed. In that one afternoon, Cassie didn't just speak, she may have rewritten his legacy. The question now isn't whether Diddy can win the case, but if his reputation will ever recover.